So I thought I'd do a quick review on this space saver kit that you can get for the BMW i3. I bought it from TyreMen and it's £240, slightly cheaper on eBay. I think on their own website it's £250, so it worked out at £200 plus VAT. So what you get is this space saver wheel. It is a proper thick, chunky alloy wheel. It's quite heavy as well. So the tyre is a Continental. I'm just looking for the sizes. There it is. 145/80 R18. 50 mile hour maximum because it is a space saver tyre. And as you saw, the key thing, it does fit in the i3 boot and you can slam the hatch down. So my intention with this is just really use it for long distance driving. When I'm around locally, I will leave this in the garage and won't use it. But I got caught out recently with the i3. I hit a pothole and I burst the rear tyre. It also damaged the rear wheel. It also damaged the front wheel. It hadn't quite burst, so it was just drivable, but it did have a bulge. So maybe the space saver wouldn't have saved me in that scenario, but I had to get recovered. And it was hours and hours. I was 3.5 hours away from home, and it took 2.5 hours for the truck to get to me. So for those long distance trips when you're away from home, I bought this and I'm going to keep this in the car. So in reality, the size of this is pretty much a front wheel from the BMW i3, so you could buy a spare front wheel and tyre, and then if it went on the front, you wouldn't be limited by the 50 mile hour speed, so that would be helpful. But as a spare, the key thing here is it does fit in the boot. It is very heavy. I will weigh it all. I've only just got this in, but we can see there it's a proper thick alloy wheel. As far as the size go, while this is an 18-inch wheel, it's obviously got a deeper tyre wall. This is fine for the i3 with both the 19 and 20-inch wheels. It's within the tolerances to be fine to fit front and back as well. If I put the wheel here next to the back, you can see there it is pretty much damn on exactly the same diameter, and of course it's going to be the same at the front anyway. If it's the same at the back, actually slightly taller, not much in it though, but there we go. It's pretty much the same, almost the same width, not quite. What's this? This is 145/80 and the standard is 155/60. So yeah, what's that, 10 mil, isn't it? 10 mil difference. So what you get with the kit is a big bag. I haven't put the tyre in the bag because it's only just come, but you've got a big bag there, which that is going to be particularly useful when you take your flat tyre off. That will be dirty and you can keep it in the bag, but you'd probably keep this in the bag as well. And of course, if you need to change a wheel, you need a toolkit, so you get that as well. This is your standard expandable wrench with 19 and 17 mil sockets, so that's all fine for the i3. And here's the jack. It's an Alka brand. They're a German brand. They particularly high quality. This is really heavy duty. The downside is it is quite heavy, and we've got the tool there. The only slight issue with this end isn't quite right to sit in the jacking points on the i3. It probably just needs pinching up a bit and flattening this, bringing the sides in a little bit. I have just briefly tried it, but it's raining and I've only just got this in, but I did get some weight on, and you know, it would jack the car up fine, but ideally this wants to be slightly smaller. I do actually have here a proper BMW jack, because I used to have a BMW Z4, so I used to have the same issues with the Z4 with not having spare wheels. And this is a BMW jack with the right plastic end there to fit in the BMW plastic jacking points. So because I've got this, I'll probably carry this because this is much lighter. You've got the handle built in, and it does the job. It does the job very well, actually. And yeah, it feels half the weight of the other one, so I just need to carry those two. But if we stick the two jacking points side by side, if I can do that, yeah, it looks like that metal one will do. It's just a bit too wide, but possibly if that was put in a vise and clamped up a bit, that will be fine, because it is very similar. Certainly the length there looks fine and the width looks fine. So overall, to get all of that for 240 quid seems pretty good value for money. If you're fortunate enough that you can find a second-hand alloy wheel and tyre combo any cheaper, then great. All you need to do is buy a toolkit, and you may be able to get it cheaper. But I had a look on eBay, and i3 wheels still fetch good money, and while you might be able to buy an alloy, you then got to buy a tyre, and this still worked out cheaper. There was nothing else available at the time when I bought this one that I couldn't have done it any cheaper. So for what it's got to do, then it's great. It fits in the boot, which is the key thing. Okay, it is all rather heavy, but as I said, I'm only going to use this when I'm doing longer trips away from home, where it's quite crucial that you need to be able to either continue your journey or just get home. And when it's local, you know, there's always other members of the family that can come out and get you, and also then bring this with them. So I'm not going to carry it all the time, but for other trips it might be a godsend.